Wait, can I do a retake? Uja register bado? Acha jokes, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of SOKOSimple, brought to you by NSE SOKO Play, a virtual trading platform which allows the youth to learn, trade, and grow. Today, we're joined in by the wonderful, the infamous Sylvester from Blair, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you, Sammy. My name is Sylvester Odhiambo. Currently a research analyst and Blair, and it's my pleasure to be here.
So how long have you been in this financial industry?
So I've been, basically after my graduation, I've been in the financial industry for currently 4.5 years now. By the end of the year, it should be coming to around 5.
So did you graduate first and then I joined, or you had already joined and then after you graduated, just continued with that transit?
So basically after becoming a graduate, that's after finishing all my papers, awaiting graduation, I jumped on. I got an opportunity to join Blair as an intern, and I took it.
You grabbed it?
Grabbed it.
Which campus were you in?
I was in Strathmore University.
I mean, clearly we can tell. Strathmore alumni is wanangaranga to you all the time. Soko Play is all about empowering the youth to learn about financial literacy. We have this barrier in which that many people, if you give them money, they don't know what to do with it. It's normally a typical example that people normally say, it's a stereotype. If you have money, the first investment that you're going to make is buy real estate. So through this platform, we are going to empower the youth to come through, to learn the financial strategies and tips, and that's why you're actually here. So can you tell us about your background and experience in trading and financial literacy?
Okay, so as stated before, I'm currently a research analyst and Blair. One thing I can say about myself is that I'm a stock market enthusiast. So anything to do with the numbers that's happening behind us, it's quite, I wouldn't use the word a turn on, but it's quite, quite interesting to me. So I've been trading for a while, especially in the NSE. Opened my first CDSC account while I was still at university.
Okay.
From a workshop where I got to see some stock brokerage firms and got introduced to the NSE and opened my first CDSC account. So that was around 2018. So that has currently been around 6 years trading. So
did you jump on straight ahead with real money?
Yes.
And what type of risks have you encountered?
So many risks, especially from the first points, it was just jumping without doing any research. From the news that I heard about in the market. So what are the best stocks?
Yeah.
So they'll just give you the main basic stocks without giving you a full color of what happens in the market. So just place my money in the named stocks without doing any research in them and just expecting my money to grow.
In what ways do virtual trading platforms provide a safe space for beginners to practice trading without financial risks?
Virtual trading platforms come into play in helping beginners start off their trading career. In that they're able to learn how to trade, the buying and selling of the assets in that virtual trading platform, and the way in which it mitigates financial risk or eliminates it is that in this virtual trading platform, you're given virtual funds or virtual cash. So when using virtual cash, you're not using real cash. In per se, we can say you're using fake cash.
Yeah.
But with this fake cash, you're able to train out your trading strategies, exercise them, see if they work or not.
Yeah.
So you don't have that loss in which, you don't have that risk in which you'll be able to lose your money when trading.
Is it something that you'll encourage people to do? Or you'll just tell them, go straight to the ropes?
No, it's something I'll encourage them to do.
10 toes deep.
So I'll encourage everyone to first off start off with a virtual trading account, if you can. If you're not experienced in trading at all or investing, start off with a virtual trading account. Gives you the experience, gives you the exposure, you're able to practice and learn. And once you feel that you're confident enough to jump onto the real thing, you can now move on to the real thing. And whatever you've learned in the virtual trading account, you can now exercise them in the real account and make sure that it makes you money.
You might be asking yourselves, which virtual trading platforms are there? That's why NSE SOKO is going to be there, but we're going to leave a link in the description. The following question: what are the key benefits of using a virtual trading platform for beginners before moving into the live market?
So first of all, you get to see how the market moves. So people always just say, I can trade. You don't even know the particular platform you're supposed to use to trade. How do you initiate a buy or a sell? You don't even know. You haven't even interacted with the trading platform before. So when you move into the virtual account, it essentially outlays the platform in which you're going to be interacting with when you're trading. So first of all, you get to learn from that. Second of all, it exposes you on how you can manage your cash. So through the virtual funds, some people are able to budget themselves. Let's say you maybe want to start out trading with about 10,000 when you jump onto the real platform. You can start with the virtual account with that same 10,000 and see if you can grow it. What trade setups or what trading strategies can you use to make money, and how you can exercise them when you move to the real account.
And please, could you elaborate to the people the difference between stock market trading and forex trading?
Okay, so for stock market trading, the stock market usually entails two aspects. The main one that is usually known is the equities or the counters side.
For example, Exhibit A.
Behind us, as you can see, the board clearly highlights all the equities listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange currently. And then on the other side, it's usually the bond market. But the bond market usually requires dealers. So the main way in which people can trade for themselves is usually on the equity side. But forex trading is usually based on forex currencies. So you're trading one country's currencies in relation to another. Forex is usually different from equities in that from equities, you're trading companies, the shares of companies, and forex, you're trading currencies.
Personally, I never even knew that. But the follow-up question I'd like to ask you is, what are some practical tips for beginners to use virtual trading platforms for learning?
Okay, so there are many ways in which you can use a virtual trading platform for learning. As I said, first of all, you're given virtual cash. So what this enables you to do is budget yourself. So everybody knows their financial capabilities, or deem to know their financial capabilities, where you know where you want your financial goals to be. So if you can start with what you've budgeted for, first of all, that's the first point. It helps you in budgeting. So you know how much money you want to put aside, in this particular case, to invest in the Securities Exchange, in the equity side. From that perspective, once you budget, you can now create what we call a watch list. So a watch list is basically just the specific counters that you're focusing on to trade with. So that now educates you on those particular counters, and now it enables you to trade those particular counters and watch their movements day in, day out.
There's normally this hiccup about now the Gen Zs and some of the millennials. If you convince them to put in money today, they have to get it back tomorrow. You see, now that's a difference between betting and trading now. Because I feel like betting, that's a gamble, and then now in trading, it's calculated risk. So how long would you advise people? How long does it normally take for guys to get their returns, like a proper return?
So I would like to start off by saying a quote from Warren Buffett, if I'm not wrong. I hope I don't misquote him, but he said, the stock market is usually a place where money moves from the impatient to the patient. So
we'll leave it there in the description.
So in this scenario, I would always advise that for you to get consistent returns, it usually takes, for the most experienced people in the market, would say around 6 months. But for the beginners, give yourself roughly 1 year.
1 year.
1 year basis, because in the span of 1 year, 365 days, so many things happen. The economy changes a lot. So many things can happen within 1 year. So for any given economic scenario and any given change in the counters you're looking at in the market, it enables you now to plan out on how you can manage to get your returns within that 1 year.
They might be asking about the stick over here, like what's bid quantity, what's bid price, ask quantity, ask price, all this. Are you in a position to elaborate, maybe just clarify in simple terms, the difference, like what these different terms actually mean?
Yes. So when you jump onto a trading platform, these are some of the familiar words you'll be able to see. So starting from the end, you can look at the security, which is the name of the particular counter or share or company that you want to buy. So as for now, SCBK, that's Stanchart Bank. So the bid quantity is the quantity that is currently being bidded in the market. So somebody is buying a quantity of, let's say, 100. That means somebody is bidding 100 shares.
Okay.
Right? The bid price is now that person buying the price he wants to buy it at.
Okay.
Right? Then for the ask quantity, this now is to the other side of the market. So when a market is usually made up of the mainly two profiles, the buying side and the selling side.
Okay.
So for a buyer to get into the market, there has to be a seller, and for a seller to get into the market, there has to be a buyer. So the bid side is usually the buyers, then the ask side is usually the sellers. So now whatever I mentioned for bid, the ask is usually the opposite now.
Okay.
So as I said, bid quantity is the quantity the buyer is looking forward to buy. Then the ask quantity is now what the seller is offering, right? So in this scenario, Stanchart 2,500. So the seller is looking to sell off 2,500 shares of Stanchart.
Okay.
Then the ask price is now the price that the ask or the seller wants to sell it at. So we usually get the market comes into convergence when the two prices usually meet. So if the bid price and the ask price usually now at the same point, the market now comes into convergence and a trade takes place. So
in other words, it's settled.
It's settled. Yeah, the trade comes into settlement. Then the previous closing is the previous closing price for the previous day. It usually guides you, especially when you come into a new day, what were the prices looking like yesterday? Because you can't just start trading something at a different price than what it was trading at yesterday.
Okay.
The trade price is the last settled trading price. So the last trade that was settled for that specific counter.
And how often does that happen?
It usually depends on the specific counter, but it's usually supposed to happen every once in a while.
So let's use an example of the most popular one, Safaricom.
Safaricom.
I believe you also have shares in Safaricom or had past tense. So now for that one, how often does it change? Is it per second, per minute, per hour?
So it's usually, I can't say the time interval because sometimes it takes a bit of time, but let's just say per minute in this case.
Okay.
Yes. So in that aspect, it's usually dependent on liquidity, but once the price convergence, the trade that takes place and the bids and the asks change, the trade price will now be reflected on the trade price.
Okay.
The net change is usually now the difference between the previous closing price and the trade price. So usually a green represents a gain or the price going up, and if it's red, it's usually the price going down. Then the total volume now represents all the trades that have taken place
For that counter.
for that counter at the end.
So have you seen these auction shows where people normally come and they start bidding for something? So it's like saying Sassini 27.45, going once, going twice, and then now someone for the ask quantity says no, we have 28 bob.
Yeah.
28 the new price. Okay, so now that's you can actually relate it to that one. Yeah?
You can actually relate it to that one, but now it's happening on a trading platform rather than
yes. Oh, but the guys, we automated. No, it's long gone are the days where you'll see people in a red jacket shouting the prices. Yeah, come on, Wolf of Wall Street. But yeah, okay. The following question which I have for you is, do you have some effective strategies for beginners who are willing to come into the trading platform?
So some effective strategies, it's usually, so for strategies I do say it's usually dependent on the person themselves, because you usually find that once you get a strategy that you are comfortable with, you'll usually tend to stick with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even leads to a trading bias because you believe it in so much that even if it lets you down, you'll just go back to it again.
Okay.
But it's usually dependent on the buyer, or not on the buyer, on the trader, sorry. Okay. So some trading strategies that you can use on the NSE, they're usually people we call the dividend traders. So what they usually look for are the companies that issue dividends. So usually, annually, companies usually release their results, and depending on these results, they usually pay out some of the earnings to shareholders in what we refer to as dividends. So on dividend traders, they usually look for companies that usually give them the highest, what we refer to as the highest dividend yield, respective to either their industry or the averages of the particular market that you're looking at. So in this particular case, let's say we're looking at banks on the NSE, really try to look at counters that give you the highest dividend yield in relation to other banks. Or you just look for counters that are paying dividends normally. Yeah.
Oh, and also, if you really want to know more about that information, feel free to log in to the NSE website, or also the NSE SOKO Play, where we will all share the company announcements and corporate actions for the live market. How do you see the role of virtual trading platforms evolving in the context of increasing access to financial markets?
So virtual trading platforms will continue to evolve, as I say. So for now, I'm guessing the NSE SOKO, as it being rolled out, it will continue to divulge more and more into more arbitrary trading. As the virtual trading platform, as the virtual trading platforms continue to evolve, I think they'll go into more sophisticated trading methodologies, maybe go deeper into derivatives for people who would like to expose themselves a little less to the market, but into other forms such as derivatives. And also currently the world is going around the buzz of AI. So the more incorporation of artificial intelligence into the trading aspects that simplify the trading bits into more simplified forms will make more sense to especially the younger generations who are coming into the trading space.
So if you are to talk about some benefits which are going to be on a virtual trading platform, apart from just the no risks, but some features which you'll want to be incorporated into our platform, what would they be?
So as always, first thing that I would say, looking at the trading bit, this is usually what the trading aspects of how you can place your orders, how you can place your buy, your sell. But it's usually more good to look at this in a particular way of a watch list, as always. So customizable watch lists, not just having one when you have a huge array to pick from, maybe one, two or more. Then customizable charts. So if you're looking at the particular counter itself, just to see the price movement in the recent past, or if you want to go back into the past just to understand how the counter has been moving. I think those two. Then maybe a corporate action table on the side, just so that they can understand what corporate actions the counters are taking into play.
Okay, so when you say corporate actions, you meaning the books closure date, if they announced a dividend, so on, and the payment date, so on and so forth.
It's usually key for any trader or investor to know what current news or what future news is going to happen on a specific counter so that they can enhance their decision making when trading.
So the final question which I have for you, and I bet you already know what this question is. Have you registered to NSE SOKO Play?
Not yet.
When are you going to register?
We can even do it right now.
Where's the phone? So yes, you see, NSE SOKO Play, it's a virtual trading platform, as I've said it before, and all the features that you said, it's even a good thing that you haven't even logged into the system yet, to the platform yet. But all those features that you mentioned are currently there, which is going to enable any person who's going to, a potential investor, to learn the ropes, trade, and then now grow. And then now, in the future, if you're ready to tap into the real market now to trade with real money, now you can dive into the sector where there's a section where it gives you a list of brokerage firms in which you're going to select from your own choice. And then now you can divert and now start trading with the real money now. Would you think that Dan Blair would love to join into the platform?
Yes, it would.
So ladies and gentlemen, we've come to an end for the show today for SOKOSimple, brought to you by NSE SOKO Play, NSE's virtual trading platform. Thank you, Sylvester, for coming in here today. Very much. Oh, by the way, capturing the bell. The guest normally has the privilege. And that comes to an end. Once again, my name is Sammy Yohana, host with the most, SOKOSimple. See you next week.